Have you ever flipped through a glossy fashion magazine hoping to find inspiration, only to realize that women your age seem to have vanished from its pages? It's almost as if, once you cross the threshold of 60, the fashion world quietly closes the door and moves on without you. The covers still sparkle, the outfits still dazzle, but somewhere between the airbrushed smiles and the impossibly youthful models, you begin to wonder, where is the space for women like us? Fashion magazines have long been seen as the ultimate style authority. They tell us what's in, what's out, and what we supposedly must wear to be considered relevant. For decades, many of us have trusted them to guide our choices, to help us feel confident, stylish, and beautiful. But what if I told you that in many ways they haven't been telling the whole truth? In fact, some of their most glamorous advice has been quietly working against women over 60, creating unrealistic standards, pushing fleeting trends, and making elegance feel like something you have to buy rather than something you can live. The truth is, the problem isn't just about age, it's about perspective. Magazines often speak to women over 60 as though we are trying to keep up with youth, instead of celebrating the richness, depth, and beauty that come with experience. They showcase clothes designed for a body type most of us don't have, hairstyles that don't suit our texture, and trends that ignore the lifestyles we actually live. The result? We start to feel invisible, or worse, pressured into becoming someone we're not. But here's the good news. You don't need a magazine to define your worth or your style. In this video, we're going to uncover the subtle lies fashion magazines have been telling women over 60, and more importantly, I'll share how you can reclaim your power, embrace your individuality, and create a timeless, authentic style that's entirely your own. And the first reason behind this silent disconnection might surprise you. Reason 1. The impossible beauty standard. For decades, fashion magazines have sold us a single image of beauty: flawless skin without a wrinkle, hair that's thick and glossy in all the right places, and bodies that fit into sample-size clothing. On their pages, women are often decades younger than the audience they're supposedly inspiring. Even when they feature older women, the photos are heavily retouched, the lighting carefully staged to erase every sign of aging. The message is subtle but clear. Your natural face, your real skin, your lived-in body aren't quite enough. This impossible beauty standard does more than just sell products. It quietly chips away at confidence. When you're constantly shown images of perfection, it's hard not to compare. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, if I just lost those 10 pounds, or if my skin looked like hers. But here's the truth. The woman in that photo doesn't even look like that in real life. Photoshop has softened every line, tightened every curve, and brightened every shadow until what you see is no longer real. What's more, this standard isn't designed for women over 60. It's built to keep us chasing something we can't actually achieve. And that's the point. Because as long as we're chasing, we're spending on creams, on treatments, on clothes that don't fit our lifestyle or comfort. The fashion industry thrives on our desire to fix ourselves even when we're not broken. But here's the shift. Beauty after 60 is not about erasing time. It's about honoring it. Your smile lines tell stories. Your silver strands carry wisdom. Your body, in all its uniqueness, is a record of the life you've lived. True elegance isn't found in trying to look like someone you were 20 years ago. It's found in dressing, styling, and presenting yourself in a way that feels powerful right now. When you stop measuring yourself against a retouched illusion, you open the door to something far more fulfilling: authentic confidence. And with that confidence, style stops being about fitting in and starts being about standing out. But the pressure doesn't end with beauty standards. Magazines have another way of making women over 60 feel out of step, by convincing us that chasing youth is the only way to stay stylish. Reason 2. The over-youthful trend trap. Flip through almost any mainstream fashion magazine and you'll see it. Bold neon dresses, micro mini skirts, sky-high stilettos, and hairstyles that look like they belong on a 20-year-old influencer. These pieces might look exciting on the page, but here's the problem. Many of them simply don't serve women over 60 in real life. And yet, magazines push them with a subtle message. If you're not embracing these youthful trends, you're falling behind. This constant push for age-defying fashion isn't just about clothes. It's about selling the idea that looking young is more important than looking your best. You've probably seen articles with headlines like 10 ways to shave years off your look, or the must-have trend to look instantly younger. On the surface, these sound playful, but underneath, they feed a damaging belief that aging gracefully is less valuable than hiding your age altogether. The truth is, not every youthful trend is bad, but not every youthful trend belongs in your wardrobe either. Wearing something that feels like a costume just to appear younger can actually have the opposite effect. It can make you look like you're trying too hard, and it robs you of the sophistication that comes naturally with maturity. There's a difference between modern and youth-obsessed. Modern style takes what's current and adapts it to your personal aesthetic, body type, and lifestyle. For example, instead of adopting neon from head to toe, you might use a vibrant scarf or statement accessory to add energy to a classic outfit. Rather than forcing yourself into a micro miniskirt, you might choose a chic midi skirt with a modern print that moves beautifully when you walk. When fashion becomes about chasing youth, it creates stress. You start to feel like you're always one step behind, buying new clothes that you don't truly love, wearing things that don't feel like you, and spending money on trends that will vanish in 6 months. But when you embrace age-appropriate fashion that still feels fresh, you're not competing with anyone. You're simply elevating yourself. And that's the real secret. Style after 60 isn't about trying to pass for 40. It's about making 60 look and feel extraordinary. Still, this isn't the only way magazines miss the mark. There's another issue hiding in plain sight: the lack of representation for all kinds of women, in all their shapes, sizes, and backgrounds. Reason 3: ignoring body and cultural diversity. Open a fashion magazine and take a closer look at the women they feature. Most of the time, you'll see tall, slim, fair-skinned models who fit a very narrow definition of beauty. They might be stunning, but they represent only a tiny fraction of real women, especially women over 60. What about those of us who are petite, plus size, women of color, women whose beauty doesn't come in a sample size or a standard height? This lack of diversity sends a silent but powerful message. If you don't look like this, you don't belong in the conversation. And for women over 60, that can be particularly isolating. Because our bodies naturally change with age, our proportions shift, our curves may soften, and our hair might turn silver. Yet these real, beautiful variations rarely make it into the glossy pages. When magazines ignore diversity, they're not just failing to represent us, they're failing to inspire us. Fashion is supposed to be about expression, creativity, and individuality. But if you never see someone who looks like you, it's easy to start believing that your body type, your skin tone, or your cultural background somehow makes you less fashionable. And that couldn't be further from the truth. The reality is, style has nothing to do with fitting into a single mold. It's about knowing yourself, understanding what flatters your body, and wearing it with confidence. A flowing silk blouse on a curvy Latina woman in her 60s can be just as powerful and often more memorable than any runway look. A pair of perfectly tailored trousers on a petite Asian woman with silver hair can stop people in their tracks. Representation matters because it validates our place in the fashion narrative. When we see women of all shapes, sizes, and cultures celebrated, it reminds us that elegance is not exclusive, it's inclusive. It evolves with each unique woman who wears it. Fashion magazines have the influence to showcase that truth, but too often they choose the safe, predictable images. That's why we have to look beyond their pages, to social media, to local designers, to women in our own communities who embody style in a way that feels authentic and relatable. But even when diversity is ignored, there's still another layer to the problem, one that's less about images and more about intention. Because behind every glossy spread is a subtle push towards something much more calculated, getting us to buy. Reason 4. The subtle art of selling, not styling. Here's something fashion magazines don't often admit. Many of their most beautiful editorials are, at their core, advertisements. The shimmering gown casually draped over a model, likely sent by a brand for promotion. The glowing review of a new skincare line, often the result of paid sponsorships. Even the must-have accessory lists are carefully curated with products that benefit the advertisers, not necessarily the reader. For women over 60, this can be especially misleading. Magazines often frame these pieces as expert advice or seasonal essentials, making it seem like they're offering guidance tailored to our needs. But in reality, much of it is designed to drive purchases, whether or not the items are practical, flattering, or worth the investment. The danger here is subtle. You might see an outfit in a spread and think, that's exactly what I need to refresh my wardrobe. But when you buy it, you realize the fabric is uncomfortable, the cut doesn't work for your shape, or the price tag was wildly disproportionate to the quality. This isn't by accident, it's part of the cycle that keeps readers dependent on the magazine for the next best thing. And here's the kicker, these promoted products often ignore the realities of life after 60. High heels that strain your knees, fabrics that require delicate care you don't have time for, or pieces so trendy they'll be out of style in months. They're designed to look good in print, not to serve your everyday life. That's why understanding the difference between style advice and product placement is so important. True style advice empowers you to make choices that fit your lifestyle, your comfort, and your personal expression. Product placement, on the other hand, is meant to persuade you to buy, often by implying that ownership equals elegance. Once you see the pattern, you can step back and ask, do I love this because it's me or because it's marketed to me? This small shift in awareness can save you from costly mistakes and help you invest in pieces that truly deserve a place in your wardrobe. And that leads us to the next, far more empowering part of the conversation: how to take back control of your style narrative and build a wardrobe that reflects you, not a sales pitch. Solution 1. Building your signature style from what you already own. One of the biggest myths fashion magazines sell is that you need to constantly buy new clothes to stay stylish. The truth? Many of your best outfits are already hanging in your closet. You just haven't looked at them through a fresh lens. Creating a wardrobe that reflects your personality, flatters your body, and fits your lifestyle doesn't always start with shopping. It starts with rediscovering what you already have. Begin by pulling out pieces that you love, not just because they're pretty, but because they make you feel confident. Maybe it's that perfectly tailored blazer you've had for years, or a silk scarf you picked up on a special trip, or the black trousers that fit like a dream. These items are more than clothing, they're the foundation of your signature style. Once you've identified your favorites, think about how you can mix and match them in new ways. Pair that blazer with jeans for a modern, casual elegance. Tie the silk scarf around your handbag to add a pop of color. Layer a crisp white shirt under a sleeveless dress to give it a completely different feel. This approach isn't just cost-effective, it ensures every outfit you wear feels intentional and uniquely yours. This is also where a capsule wardrobe mindset can help. A capsule wardrobe for mature women focuses on timeless pieces, neutral trousers, tailored jackets, versatile dresses that can be worn across seasons and occasions. By building around a few high-quality basics, you make it easier to add in statement accessories or seasonal accents without overcomplicating your style. And here's the bonus. When you style from your existing wardrobe, you avoid the trap of impulse purchases pushed by magazines and ads. You learn to recognize that elegance doesn't come from chasing trends. It comes from refining what you already have and wearing it with confidence. The beauty of this approach is that it puts you in control. You decide what works, what feels comfortable, and what reflects your current stage of life. No glossy editorial can do that for you. But creating a signature style from what you own is only the first step. Sometimes you still want to explore what's new, but the secret is knowing how to choose trends selectively so they enhance your wardrobe rather than overwhelm it. Solution 2. Curating trends that truly work for you. Fashion trends are like seasonal visitors. They come and go quickly, sometimes leaving us with pieces we barely wear. For women over 60, chasing every trend not only drains the budget, it can also lead to a closet full of items that don't fit your lifestyle, your body, or your personal style. The key isn't to reject trends altogether, it's to filter them with intention. Start by asking yourself 3 questions before trying something new. Does it flatter my body shape and coloring? Trends should highlight your strengths, not hide them. For example, if wide-leg trousers are trending, choose a cut and fabric that elongates your frame instead of overwhelming it. Does it suit my lifestyle? A pair of sequin pants might sparkle in a magazine, but will you actually wear them to lunch with friends or on a weekend getaway? Can it work with what I already own? If a trend forces you to buy an entirely new outfit to make it work, it might not be worth it. One of the smartest ways to incorporate trends is through accessories. A statement belt, a pair of modern sunglasses, or a handbag in a seasonal color can instantly refresh your look without committing to a head-to-toe change. This approach allows you to enjoy what's current without sacrificing your timeless core wardrobe. Another trick is to reinterpret trends in a way that feels age-appropriate yet fresh. If bold prints are in, you could opt for a silk blouse in a vibrant pattern and pair it with neutral trousers, rather than wearing the print from head to toe. If cropped jackets are popular, you might choose a tailored version that hits at the right point on your waist, balancing style and proportion. By curating trends instead of chasing them, you maintain control over your style narrative. You're not dressing to look younger, you're dressing to look modern, relevant, and completely yourself. And once you master the art of choosing trends selectively, the next step becomes even more exciting. Learning how to invest in high-quality pieces that elevate your wardrobe for years to come, no matter what's in or out next season. Solution 3. Investing in quality pieces that last. One of the smartest moves any woman over 60 can make is shifting from buying more to buying better. Fashion magazines thrive on promoting the latest must-haves, but those pieces often lose their appeal or fall apart by the next season. Quality, on the other hand, has staying power. A beautifully cut coat, a pair of well-made leather shoes, or a handbag crafted from fine materials can serve you for years, sometimes even decades, without losing their elegance. Investing in quality starts with understanding the difference between price and value. A $300 blazer that fits you perfectly, is lined, and made from natural fibers may actually be more cost-effective than a $90 blazer that pills, loses shape, or never feels quite right. Quality pieces not only last longer, they also look better. The drape of the fabric, the precision of the stitching, and the richness of the color all contribute to a more polished appearance, one that no fast fashion trend can replicate. When shopping, pay attention to details that signal craftsmanship. Sturdy seams, smooth zippers, well-finished hems, and fabrics that feel substantial to the touch. Try garments on whenever possible. Quality isn't just about materials. It's about how the piece moves with your body. Think of these items as investment pieces. Your capsule wardrobe might include a tailored blazer in a neutral tone, a cashmere sweater that can be layered across seasons, or a versatile leather tote that works for both everyday wear and travel. These aren't impulse purchases, they're intentional choices that form the backbone of your style. Another benefit of quality clothing is how effortlessly it mixes with the rest of your wardrobe. A high-end pair of trousers can be paired with an affordable blouse, and the whole outfit will look elevated because of that single well-made item. Quality acts like an anchor. It grounds your look and makes every other piece you wear feel more refined. And here's the best part. When you invest in pieces that truly last, you naturally buy less. This not only saves money in the long run, but also frees you from the constant cycle of replacing worn-out clothes. Instead of wondering what's missing from your wardrobe, you start enjoying what's already there. Once you've built this foundation, there's one more element that ties everything together, something no magazine can sell you, yet it's the single most powerful style tool you'll ever own: your confidence. Solution 4: owning your confidence. Style isn't just about the clothes you wear, it's about the energy you bring into them. You can have the most luxurious wardrobe in the world, but if you don't wear it with confidence, it will never truly shine. This is where fashion magazines often fail us. They talk endlessly about the right cuts, the flattering colors, and the must-have trends, but they rarely talk about the mindset that makes style feel alive. Confidence is the invisible accessory that transforms an outfit. It's what allows a woman to walk into a room wearing something simple, a crisp white shirt and well-fitted trousers, and still draw every eye. It's not about being loud or bold, unless you want to be. It's about standing tall, knowing your worth, and dressing in a way that celebrates the woman you are today, not the woman you were 20 years ago. Part of owning your confidence is refusing to let magazines dictate your limits. If you love silver hair, wear it proudly. If you adore bold earrings or statement shoes, make them your signature. If you prefer a pared-down minimalist look, don't let anyone tell you it's boring. When your style reflects your truth, people notice, not because you fit a mold, but because you stand out naturally. Confidence also comes from preparation. When you know what works for you, your colors, your shapes, your proportions, you remove uncertainty. Getting dressed becomes less about questioning your choices and more about enjoying them. This self-assurance radiates in ways that no airbrushed editorial can replicate. And here's the secret: confidence is contagious. When you embrace your own style without apology, you give other women permission to do the same. You become living proof that elegance at 60, 70, or beyond is not only possible, it's powerful. Once you've embraced confidence as your ultimate style tool, everything else falls into place. And that brings us to the heart of our journey, the conclusion that ties all these lessons together and reminds you why your style, at any age, is yours to define. Conclusion: defining your style on your terms. We've uncovered the truth behind the glossy pages, the impossible beauty standards, the obsession with youth, the lack of real representation, and the quiet push to buy into trends you may not need. We've also explored a better path, building your signature style from what you already own, curating trends with intention, investing in quality pieces, and most importantly, owning your confidence. The heart of it all is this: fashion magazines don't get to decide your worth, your beauty, or your relevance. They can inspire, yes, but they don't hold the final say. That power belongs to you. You have lived decades of life, learned what matters, and developed a sense of self that no airbrushed model can compete with. Your style should be a reflection of that journey, not a reaction to someone else's standard. When you dress in a way that feels true to you, something shifts. You stop chasing approval and start enjoying the process. You see clothes not as a way to hide your age, but as a way to express the wisdom, depth, and vitality that come with it. And when you step out in that kind of energy, People notice, not because you fit the mold, but because you break it beautifully. So the next time you open a magazine and see something that doesn't reflect you, remember, you are not invisible and you are not behind. You are the embodiment of elegance, and elegance has no expiration date. If this conversation has sparked ideas or reminded you of your own power, I invite you to explore even more ways to elevate your style, embrace your beauty, and live your most confident years yet. There's so much more to share, and I'd love for you to be part of the journey. Subscribe for upcoming videos on elegant outfits for mature women, anti-aging style tips, and timeless fashion inspiration because your style story is just getting started. And now, let's take everything you've learned today and turn it into a life you dress for with joy, confidence, and unapologetic authenticity.